Okay, good evening, everybody. I hope that you had a great week. My week was extremely busy, but I think I got some stuff done. So, that's better than not getting anything done. So, yeah, hope that you've all been having a good time. Now, the video on, let me just make sure this is live. I don't know, YouTube was kind of weird today. It was, there we go. Okay, so it is live. Good. So what was I going to say? So the main video that we're going to do is for this week is going to be the video on the most successful political parties in history, which I actually think is going to be interesting. Some of the ones that made it there are ones that I didn't even really expect, and the number one was kind of a surprise. So we'll take a look at that probably tomorrow or Monday. But today we're going to be covering Days of Our Trump, Tel Aviv tantrums and Tehran tensions, or trying to figure out what is even happening. Okay, so I held off on this for basically a week. So for those of you who don't remember, um, this whole thing started Friday the 13th, and we'll get into it. I was waiting for like some time to pass for maybe the dust to settle to maybe see like what everyone's reactions are going to be. And frankly, I'm just kind of as confused now as I was a week or so ago when we were doing this. That being said, let's just get into it and let's try to uncover this mess together. And it is a mess. I'm cutting out. Okay. All right. Let me see. Is that any better? I moved the mic closer to my face. Okay. Uh, is it still cutting out? Okay. Well, people can just tell me if it's working or not. If it's not working, I'll keep my eye on. I'll periodically look at chat, and hopefully we can figure this out together. Okay, so let's head into part one. So the background to all of this. We have Operation Rising Lion, and no, that is not something I came up with, like trying to do the UCU, the Israeli Cinematic Universe, all that kind of thing. That is what Netanyahu decided to call it, Operation Rising Lion, the Israeli attack on Iran. So I guess is this kind of like a last time on, but okay, so Obama had come to an agreement with Iran. I think it's called like the JCPOA or whatever. Trump tore it up when he got elected because he said it was the worst deal ever. And then Biden didn't make a new deal. So basically, there was no agreement between the two of them. And there's this idea that Iran was developing nuclear weapons this entire time. Now, we've been trying to get a new agreement. So Trump has been using Steve Witkoff for a lot of stuff. Um, Witkoff is a real estate developer. I forget if he's a lawyer or not, but basically he's a friend of Trump's from his days in New York. And he started to use him as basically his personal envoy. So whenever he like wants something to actually get done, it seems like he sends Witkoff. So Witkoff has been meeting with Putin. He doesn't send like the Russian ambassador. He doesn't send Rubio. He normally sends Witkoff whenever he wants like something to actually get done. My understanding from what I've heard is obviously the dude has no real experience in doing any of this. The Russians said though he was extremely intelligent. He listened to them when they talked to him. Which they appreciated, and he picked up rather quickly. Interestingly, Witkoff also speaks Russian So he was able to talk to Putin without a translator, which is apparently a big no-no, and a lot of people got upset over that. But just kind of interesting. So he sent him to go talk to Iran. Now, the thing that's important about him is because he has no background whatsoever in diplomacy, he's not necessarily prey to all the same nonsense that the rest of the people at the State Department are. He's just kind of a layman going in. He's a smart guy, though. He knows how to talk to people. He knows how to be personable. So they've been sending him in. So, so they sent him over to Iran, and he's been negotiating with the Iranians, and it actually looked like things were going pretty well. Witkoff said things were going well. Iranian foreign minister said things were going well. They were making progress. They were actually going to send the technical team in. Now, I've been learning a bit about how diplomacy works just through the Ukraine negotiations and stuff. But my understanding is once you've gotten an agreement on kind of the broad points, that's when the technical team comes in. And they're the ones who figure out how this thing is actually going to work. They're the ones who like say, okay, what, where, when, why. What are the monitoring mechanisms going to be? How often do we do the monitoring? Just stuff like that. You know, like actually, how would you make the agreement come into effect? And my understanding is they were actually going to start going and working on it. So things were looking really good that there was going to be a deal. Putin even came in and he offered to help out. Keep in mind, Russia and China are allied with Iran, but they don't want Iran to have nuclear weapons either. Most countries that don't have nuclear weapons don't want non-nuclear countries to get nuclear weapons. In part because it dilutes their own power, but also on a basic level, the more buttons and the more fingers that can launch nukes, the higher the likelihood that eventually something is going to go horribly wrong. So there is a general agreement, like whenever possible, to stop proliferation. So Russia doesn't want Iran to get nukes. So they were willing to like step in and help and negotiate. Putin has been trying to throw Trump a bone on this. Trump hasn't really been like taking it or whatever. So yeah, so this was happening. So we come to Friday the 13th. And negotiations were going to go to their next session in Oman, in Oman. On June the 15th. So it was, you know, that whole joke they have, like, oh, it was the security guard. It was 3 days before retirement and he gets killed. It kind of feels like that a bit like this. That it was like 3 days before we were going to get a draft agreement and things were going to get resolved without a war and stuff like that. And I think it's pretty obvious that Israel attacked when they did to prevent an agreement from coming into effect because they don't want peace. They want to regime change Iran and destroy it. They like getting an agreement is kind of irrelevant to them. That's not really what Netanyahu wants. Whether that comes from just a desire to destroy all their enemies, that they have to have basically the entire Middle East as their proxies, or what it is, I'm not entirely sure, but that's just kind of where Israel is on this. So I think they definitely did their attack in order to prevent the negotiations from coming to any sort of conclusion. So on June on Friday, June the 13th, Bibi Netanyahu announced a special military operation to demilitarize, denazify, and denuclearize Iran. It's not a war, guys. It's a special military operation. Now, obviously, they didn't call it that, but I just find that joke really... I just always use that now whenever a war starts. So... on Friday the 13th, we had the Mossad, we had cyber attacks, drones, airstrikes. Israel apparently hit over 100 targets in one day. Now, I don't know what that means exactly, like if some of those were hacked or whatever, but they did just a massive number of strikes in one day. I saw that they did about 100 or more, 200 jets. Yeah, so it was big, and it was basically a decapitation strike. And these are just some of the people they killed. They killed some other people, but the chief of staff of Iranian armed forces. I think that would be the same thing as the joint chiefs of staff or whatever. The position Milley had. We had the commander of the Revolutionary Guard, the other heads of it. Keep in mind, the Revolutionary Guard is kind of a paramilitary that is directly loyal to the regime. So they killed a lot of their leadership in the opening salvo. They also killed a bunch of nuclear scientists, because why not? I should always point out that it's not as if that they're going through. They have the permission of the any of the countries they're going through. I assume they're going through Syria and Iraq, which are both theoretically sovereign countries, but I guess that doesn't really matter to Israel. I guess Iraq just gave them permission to fly over their country and attack Iran. I guess that just happened. So, this brings us to the king snake. Okay, so if you'll pardon my autism for just a moment. So, Darkside Phil had a redemption, like a failed redemption arc this last year, where he teamed up with the Kino Casino guys, and he thought that they were his best friends. He thought that they were going to make money together. He thought this was the revival of his career. And then it turned out that they were gaslighting him and milking him for content the whole time, and he basically spurred out. Now, Phil could have just said, oh man, I got tricked by these guys. I thought that they were my friends. These guys are assholes. And that would have got him some sympathy. But Phil's plan was to call himself the King Snake and say, no, I wasn't tricked. I was the one doing the tricking. I set this whole thing up to double cross them. It's all like a 4D chess plan. So this is kind of what Trump did. This was the cope he came up with. So the night that Friday the 13th, Rubio released a statement basically saying the U.S. wasn't involved. We're monitoring the situation. This was a unilateral attack by Israel. So that, I think, was a reasonable thing to say. Rubio, I think, is actually, regardless of how you feel about him ideologically, I think he's actually a pretty good Secretary of State. To be honest, if you look at most of his statements tend to be pretty measured. He tends to give decent statements that don't give away too much, while also not saying nothing. But the idea is to buy some time and get some maneuvering room so that they can figure out what's going on. And I think he did his job with that one. So then the next day, we had a Trump True Social post. So we had the unhinged cope in the series of unhinged copes, that this was a major plan and he was involved all along. And there was stuff like, I gave them 30 days and then I gave them another 30 days and this was the expiration of the 30 days and so they had this coming. I don't think that he actually came out and said it, but everything he said in his True Social post the next day implied that he was directly in on it and this was some sort of 24-hour op. So did Trump actually know about it? This is an interesting question, and I'm very much on the fence with it because the Trump administration is a complete shit show, and no one really knows what's going on at any given time. The best that I know, the thing that I think happened was Trump or someone in his administration was aware of the fact that Israel was planning something. Now, Mark Waltz got removed because he was talking to Netanyahu behind Trump's back and trying to like do a gay op with Netanyahu to start the war with Iran. So he got kicked out of being national security advisor and got sent to be ambassador to the UN because he was plotting with a foreign leader behind the president's back to try to pressure the president to do something in the interest of a foreign power. Now, most people would consider that to be treason, plotting with a foreign head of government, but it's okay because it's Israel, so they just get away with it. So I think Trump probably knew something was happening. I don't think he knew very many details, and I don't know if he thought that he expected that Netanyahu was going to go ahead with it without him. So I think Netanyahu was like, okay, we might get a deal in like 3 days, so we're just going to launch this big attack. And so Trump was faced with a choice, the same choice Phil was faced with. He could either just say, look, Netanyahu snaked me. I didn't know about this. I didn't approve of this. I didn't sign off on this. He just decided to attack Iran. We're not involved with this. He's on his own. He could have said something to that effect, or said, look, it's unacceptable. We're going to try and figure this out and get a ceasefire and get back to the negotiation table. He didn't do that. And then we just got more and more of this, like, this was a master plan. So then we like got even more bizarre. We got into Trump saying, I didn't bother to go get all the Truth Social posts. You can go read through them. Some of the details of this are just so like all over the place. It's hard to get it all into one location. So Trump basically said that the negotiations were a big front to make Iran let its guard down. And so when they were not suspecting it, they were going to launch a military strike. Now, if that's true, and that's not just a cope, that is really evil. And I'm just going to come and say that is really gross. It's there's a reason that like the lowest level of hell is reserved for traitors. There's a reason that guest right is a thing. There's a reason that like messengers are sacrosanct. Like it's a basic principle of civilization that allows the world to operate. And so Trump's cope is that I was conducting good faith negotiations with Iran, who was actively working with me, and I used that as an opportunity to set up a preemptive strike against them. I don't know. I just feel that is an extremely evil thing to do. If that was true, and he's gone back on it again and said that's not what happened, but why would you say something like that? And if you're another country, if you're like anybody who's negotiating with the U.S., why would you ever talk to the U.S.? Now that they're saying that we're going to, now they're saying that like we're going to use negotiations as like a way to scam you and to get you to let your guard. Like that's a psychopathic thing to say. Frankly, I think that is that's evil, and it's also really stupid. I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm just kind of going off on a moral tirade, but I don't know. I just that there's a certain level of sleaze and a certain level of just slime that I thought Trump was like above. I didn't think Trump was that bad. Once again, I don't think that was actually it, and I think this is a cope because he thought it was better to look like a psychopath than to admit that Netanyahu mogged him. So this brings us back to the whole question of Iran's nuclear weapons program. And this is something that is very harsh debated. And I've heard all kinds of stuff from all kinds of different people regarding this. So there has been, basically going back to the 80s, there's been constant reports and intelligence saying Iran is, 3 years away from getting a nuclear weapon. They constantly Also, if anybody wants to like say I'm misinterpreting things or I'm not being fair or something like that, I'm completely open to it. If you want to say, Argent, you didn't bring your receipts, we need more direct evidence for this or something, that's fine. It's just that was the impression I got. And I just didn't feel like going through and pulling all the Truth Social posts. But if, okay, even if that wasn't explicitly the case, they did a sneak attack during negotiations. It's just, yeah. Also, keep in mind, Israel didn't do any kind of ultimatum. Israel didn't say, look, Iran, you have to do this within 24 hours or we're going to launch the big attack. Or we're going to launch the big attack and we're going to destroy the nuclear weapons. They didn't do that. They didn't go to the UN Security Council and try to get a resolution. They didn't do any of the normal things you're supposed to do before declaring war. They just unilaterally decided to attack. I mean, you can say what you want about Putin and Ukraine, but they at least went through a lot of the legal steps you're supposed to go through. And I know that international law is kind of a meme, but it's, I don't know. I seem to remember another group of people who launched a preemptive strike against another country somewhere in the Pacific that was a day that would live in infamy. Anyway, so yeah, there's been a rumors that Iran has been pursuing nuclear weapons since the 1980s. It hasn't happened yet. I'm unsure from what I've heard, if they actually were. Now, I know they were in, I think, the 80s or 90s, because they found out how close Saddam was to actually getting a nuclear weapon, and that scared them, and they started developing one. Now, I had heard that after Saddam was overthrown, Iran abandoned any thought of that, and Ayatollah Khamenei issued a fatwa, a religious ruling in 2003, stating that nuclear weapons are haram or forbidden in Islam, which has never been revoked to my knowledge. Now, you can say that that's just performative, you can't believe them, he's just trying to get you to let your guard down. I don't know. The point is that I don't think they've ever said that it was for weapons. But that's the question. It's how much of the program was to get nuclear power and other various things, maybe like medical isotopes. How much of it was military, or how much of it was them just hedging it, where they're like, we're going to get the civilian nuclear power, and that's going to make it easier to get a bomb later, or to get the material to assemble some bombs in secret. So I don't know. I think they probably were pursuing a nuclear weapon. I don't know how close they were. If they weren't pursuing a nuclear weapon, they should have been pursuing a nuclear weapon. And I think that this attack has proven to them very strongly that they need nuclear weapons immediately, as quickly as possible. North Korea has nuclear weapons, and they haven't been regime changed. The U.S. hasn't randomly decided to attack them. So, yeah, I'd imagine that they're going to be getting one as quickly as possible. So, throughout this, we've heard like these various intelligence estimates. I have heard between, and this is not like me exaggerating, between Iran is 3 days away from getting a nuclear weapon to 3 years away from getting a nuclear weapon. Is the range that I've seen when we are looking at this. Yeah, good point in the chat. Gaddafi didn't have nukes. Yeah, if Gaddafi gave up his nuclear program, and look what happened. Saddam gave up his nuclear program, and look what happened. Once again, especially under these conditions, like, how is Iran supposed to ever have negotiations again? Like, if you were Iran, like, just to ask the chat a question, you're going through negotiations, they seem to be going well, and you just get attacked, and then the head of the country is like, ha ha ha, we tricked you. Like, Why would you ever negotiate with those people again? I mean, I wouldn't. So, anyway, so yeah, the estimates were either Iran was able to build a nuclear weapon in 3 days, or they were still 3 years out. Tulsi Gabbard said that they were at least 3 years out, and there was no active nuclear weapons development program. Trump said that they were about to have one in like 2 days. They said, "Why did your director of national intelligence say 3 years?" And then he said, "I don't care what she has to say." And then when asked about it again, he said, "She's wrong." And then Tulsi mysteriously, after rumors that she was taken to the woodshed and was in danger of being kicked out of the regime, suddenly changed what she was saying and is now wording it in an ambiguous way that they're close to getting a nuclear weapon. So I think that they've threatened her. But once again, it's... that's not a... I don't know. That's just... it's not a reasonable range. Like, if you were to say Iran is 3 to 5 years away from having a nuclear weapon, that is a time range that makes sense to me. If you were to say 2 to 3, that might make sense. If you were to say 8 months, 12 months, that might make sense. But the gap between 3 days and 3 years is just too, like, wide. Is just too, like, big. It just kind of is bizarre beyond belief. That's taken seriously. And once again, Netanyahu says all kinds of stuff, and it just keeps changing. It's like a Troust. It's a Troust and bro. It's a trust me bro thing. Like, if your intelligence is so bad that they don't know if Iran has a nuclear weapon or is not. Okay, so like the two options here. Once again, I'm sorry to dwell on this, but the options are Iran basically has a nuclear weapon ready. They just have to put the casing on it because it's 3 days away, or Iran is not actively developing a nuclear weapon, and the U.S. intelligence is not good enough to know which of those it is. So basically, they have zero intelligence because those are like the two extremes. There isn't even like an in between. Anyways, so the mullahs strike back. Israel did something that they haven't done in quite a while, is they hit somebody who actually had weapons. They're used to just killing Palestinians or going after Hezbollah or bombing Syria or whoever. And they aren't really used to fighting a country that actually can shoot back at them. And it is not going well. So Iran has been stockpiling ballistic missiles and drones for quite some time now. Immediately after this attack, they started launching them in waves. I think it's been a full day since the last one, but they've been launching them at regular intervals. So the goal is to deplete the air interceptors. So this was just a rough guesstimate I came up with, but I think it at least gives you an idea of the magnitude. So the estimates I found was that Israel has about 1,000 to 1,400 interceptors of all kinds. This is anti-missile, anti-drone missiles. This would include David Sling. This includes Archer, Arrow, whatever it's called, and Iron Dome. Now, I know that's a big range, but we're trying to kind of look at orders of magnitude here. So another thing to keep in mind, and this is something in Ukraine, is it takes at least 2 interceptors to reliably take down a target. I forget what the actual rate is, if it's like 60 or 70% interception rate. So you generally have to fire 2 to be reasonably sure that it was going to happen. Now, Israel, according to some estimates I saw, you can look these up. I just didn't bother putting the sources in here, but this is all from like the Daily Mail or the Guardian or stuff like that. It's not really from like weird sources. So the estimate is that Israel used between 1,000 and 1,200 interceptors in the first week. So if we start doing the math, it would seem to indicate that they've basically blown through their existing stockpile. And the production estimates I was able to find is about 120 a month. And that's about as, and that includes all the different types, including Iron Dome. Now, I don't know how much the surge production of that is. I don't know if they can get that up significantly, but that is a trickle. If Israel is using like 1,000 of them a week, um, yeah, they spend about a week on it. I don't know. They just don't have enough. So Netanyahu came out and said, um, Iran has 28,000 ballistic missiles in stock. Is currently what we're getting. So I'm gonna play a clip that I think really summarizes this whole thing. One second.
You know, they say all men are created equal, but you look at me and you look at Small Joe, and you can see that statement is not true. See, normally if you go one-on-one with another wrestler, you got a 50-50 chance of winning. But I'm a genetic freak, and I'm not normal. So you got a 25% at best at beating me. And then you add Kurt Angle to the mix, your chances of winning drastically go down. See, the three-way at sacrifice, you got a 33 and a third chance of winning. But I got a 66 and two-thirds chance of winning because Kurt Angle knows he can't beat me, and he's not even going to try. So, Samoa Joe, you take your 33.
Wait. Oh, that just happened? While I was streaming? Oh, sorry. Oh, shit. Okay, well, I'm going to have to scrap what we were doing. Okay, so apparently Trump just posted on Truth Social. I will go take a look at that once in a minute to see if he actually did post that on Truth Social or if that's fake news. But let's just get more. And you know what? It doesn't actually really matter. We'll get to that in a minute. The stuff here, I think, is actually important, even more so if America is going to get involved. Anyway, so that was the numbers don't lie and they spell disaster for you, man thing. Maybe we'll stream site Trump. Okay, so let's see here. Where are we? Yeah. So sorry. So yeah. So Israel probably has only a couple hundred interceptors left. They aren't going to get any more, or very few more. And Iran has about 28,000 ballistic missiles that it can just keep firing, basically indefinitely, to keep the whole thing going. So, Israel has. Yeah, I'll go take a look at that in a minute. I'm gonna finish this off because I think it is okay. So we'll skip this, the bat phoning Trump. Fordo was hit. Okay, we'll go to that in a minute. So Israel has been engaging in massive censorship. I don't know if anyone's heard about this. But Israel's basically gone into full-on shut it down mode, and they're massively censoring the media. They're blocking foreign news sites, all kinds of stuff like that. It's basically, in the only democracy in the Middle East, it appears they're engaging in massive censorship. So that is something that's been happening. Yeah, just because things have not really been going well. Their missile interceptors are depleted, more and more hits from missiles. The F-35s are going to break down soon, and the situation's getting worse. Okay, so the situation is basically getting worse, and they tried to bat phone Trump in, and they did bat phone Trump in. So here we go. Does it even matter? I actually had a slide for this. So would the U.S. even matter? Well, the Americans have an immense amount of firepower. My question is, how much would it actually matter if they did enter in to the war on Israel's side? My understanding is Iran's nuclear facilities, at least the main one, Fordo, is so deeply buried beneath the mountain. Even the bunker busters they have isn't capable of actually penetrating to it. I think they would have to use nuclear bunker busters in order to actually destroy it. I don't think they actually have any way of doing it. I saw something like if they dropped two bombs on, like, right on top of each other, that might work. But I don't think that they really have a way of dealing with it. Um, so, like, what can America actually do? They can blow a lot of stuff up. Um, no, the B-2 bunker busters aren't powerful enough for Agatalk. I think that the concern was that the non-nuclear ones, I've heard at least, are not strong enough. Maybe they were able to get them up to that point, but my understanding is non-nuclear ones couldn't actually reach it. So yeah, so they can just blow up a lot of stuff. They can make life miserable for the Iranian people. The cope could be that if we just destroy enough stuff, it'll lead to them overthrowing their leaders. Um, let's see here. They've been threatening to kill the supreme leader. That's a new one that they're doing. They basically go back and forth on that. So this is based on a lot of, and the effectiveness is based on a lot of assumptions that Iranian air defense won't do anything against American planes, that America has enough missiles in order for this to happen, and that Russia and China will just not get involved at all. And they'll just be kind of cool with this entire thing happening. So that is where we are at the moment. And let me just see here. Let me just find. I'll pull up YouTube and Twitter. I just have to re-sign in because I use Brave for these. Just because Brave, having a dedicated browser is nice because it means that I don't really have to worry about just random pop-ups doxing me. Sorry, just give me a sec. I'm just logging in. Okay, let's see here. All right. Any news channel people would recommend, like maybe CNN. I'm not sure who's going to be broadcasting the things, the strikes, or Trump's speech. Let's see, Al Jazeera maybe. Okay,
capabilities, and that is for the entire world. That America was the only country with the weapons Israel needed for their continued attacks on Iran. Netanyahu also said that Israel has made great achievements in their airstrikes against Iran, but no mention, of course, of the hundreds of people who've been killed and the damage to apartments and other houses and property and structures inside of Iran. But this statement was expected from the Israeli Prime Minister, praising this decision by the Americans that he had waited 10 days for.
All right, that's our correspondent Hamda Salhout live for us in Amman, Jordan. Thanks, Hamda. We should mention that U.S. President Donald Trump is expected to address the nation at the top of the hour in about 5 minutes from now. We just heard a video statement from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Let's go now to our guest, Harlan Ullman. He's a political and military analyst. He's chairman of the Killowen Group.
Let me see if they play the Netanyahu clip. Let's see here. I'm just trying to see if I can find. Okay, let's see.
That in the run-up to these strikes, and he said,
let's look at Netanyahu's Twitter. If he posted it here. Okay, here we go.
To target Iran's nuclear facilities with the awesome and righteous might of the United States will change history. In Operation Rising Lion, Israel has done truly amazing things. But in tonight's action against Iran's nuclear facilities, America has been truly unsurpassed. It has done what no other country on earth could do. History will record that President Trump acted to deny the world's most dangerous regime, the world's most dangerous weapons. His leadership...
Trump is going to deny Israel nuclear weapons? That would have been based.
Has created a pivot of history that can help lead the Middle East and beyond to a future of prosperity and peace. President Trump and I often say, peace through strength. First comes strength, then comes peace. And tonight, President Trump and the United States acted with a lot of strength. President Trump, I thank you. The people of Israel thank you. The forces of civilization thank you. God bless America. God bless Israel. And may God bless our unshakable alliance, our unbreakable faith.
Oh, it's so sick.
Said that.
Okay, let's see our C-SPAN. 1 second. I'm just going to switch this back to night mode. 1 sec. Okay, there we go. All right. Let me know if the balance is the audio balance is okay. Let's see here. Just looking at the chat. Okay, we got a bunch of stuff about the thing. Sorry, BB, Tel Aviv is still screwed. Well, it's like, as I said, you guys noticed I literally just started this for completely unrelated reasons. So I'm going to change the title of this. Is Trump gonna like just make us wait for like an hour or something as just some kind of like weird power move? Is that what we're doing now? But I don't know, we have to do this because of Israel. Because Israel wanted like World War III. It's, I don't know. It is really gross. The whole thing is gross. It just kind of sickens me. We'll see what Trump has to say. We'll see what the cope is, because I'm gonna say now there's gonna be a lot of cope in this. Now, just to double check, do people mind if I pause, like if there's something important that I want to like say something to, or should I just let it play and talk over it? I guess we'll just play it by ear. Yeah, Rain, Trump bombed Iran. It's gonna be rough, girl. Say something. Okay. Okay, cool. Rain just climbed into my lap. I don't know. Are you aware of it, Rain? Are you aware of the fate that the world is being subject to, or did you just want a warm lap? I think she just wanted a warm lap. Is Rain saying anti-Semitic comments? She's rubbing up against me. I don't know if that counts. She bit me. I don't know if that counts as a anti-Semitic comment. Maybe it does. Okay, let's see here. Oh, here we go. Okay, let me know if the audio balance is okay. Jake, you didn't miss anything. It just literally, like 5 minutes ago, I was doing an unrelated video, and this started happening. So, well, no, I mean it's a related video, but I didn't know that the attack was coming, and then this kind of happened. Okay, it's pretty hot in here. Let me know if don't bite me. My air conditioner is too loud in the background, just because it's getting kind of muggy in here. Let me try putting it on low.
Thank you very much. A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment
Echo.
capacity, and
I don't hear anything. I don't. Okay. I don't hear a second
to the
stream.
nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can
Israel.
report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
Okay, okay, we're gonna do a poll. Let me see here. Okay, we're gonna start off with a poll. Okay, let's.
Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their...
Okay, like, and this is okay. I actually almost wanted to do a video about this. So, like, and I've seen people say this. Okay, so Iran says death to America. Iran's saying death to America. He's saying, like, just the way they put it is, it sounds like that is a justifiable reason to attack a country and kill thousands of people. Because the government says death to America. Like, that's not a legitimate reason to attack another country. Sorry, I'm multitasking at the moment. Hopefully people get what I'm saying. It's just like, who cares if they're saying death to America? I thought you guys believed in freedom of speech.
Their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world.
What is this?
Obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace.
By the way, there is poll up. We can vote. Were Iran's nuclear sites completely and totally annihilated? I think I misspelled that, but it doesn't matter. Like how Trump said.
They do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died.
What is he even talking about? There's Iran killed over 1,000 Americans. I'm gonna have to see some Trump. I'm gonna have to see some receipts on this one. So Iran directly threw roadside bombs. If I'm understanding this, let's just go through this.
They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to a...
We pulled our 24-hour gay off where we pretended to negotiate in good faith, and then we
Racing
pulled
this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done.
No, like Constantine, I agree what you mean. I understand what he's saying. He's talking about how Iran sponsored the Shia militias in Iraq that fought against the Americans. Now, once again, we're taking this. It's very. I just find it really G-slur. I don't want to use the term too much, but this idea that like, oh, we invaded Iraq, we invaded Iraq, we destroyed the country, we militarily occupied it, we forced a constitutional government on it, but if they shoot back, that means they're evil. That means they're bad. Well, like once again, it's you're not allowed to fire back.
Most importantly, I want to congratulate the great...
You know what wouldn't have happened if America wasn't occupying Iraq? They wouldn't have been blowing them
American
up.
patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chair.
Oh no, Constantine, I know you agree. I just thought you made a good point, and I just wanted to address it in case I get like 50 comments under this video. I think it was a good thing to point
Chairman
out.
of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all.
Look at Vance. I don't know like if Vance is just like what that expression is. That's not a happy expression.
Far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Okay,
so I skipped this. On Truth Social, Trump is like, Iran has to unconditionally surrender. What, like, he didn't even, like, what does unconditional surrender mean? Like, can someone explain to me what the fuck unconditional surrender even means in this context? Does that mean Iran does regime change? Does that mean that Iran, like, abandons its nuclear? Like, I don't know what it means. Like, what is it that Iran is supposed to do? Are there even, like, terms that have been offered? Are there demands?
Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight. Not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military.
No, but, like, I understand in the past what unconditional surrender is. But, like, I don't, like, what does it mean in this context? It means that, like, the government, does it dissolve itself? Does it just allow America to occupy it? Like, I don't really know what it means.
Military, protect them. God bless the Middle East, God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You've been watching live coverage.
Now that was surreal. I think we can all agree that was a surreal experience. Okay, let's see what's being said by the main players on Twitter. I just switched this to dark mode. Why is it unswitching? Okay, there we go. Okay. President Trump and the situation. What a tool. Like, I don't know. I'm so tired of the fucking hats. Like, the hats that are worn at the, at all of this stuff. At, like, all of these events. It's just, it's unprofessional. It's not serious. I'm sorry. Let's see here. Situation. We're posting these, like, that's the best, like, picture they could get. Like, Pete Hegseth looks like some sort of cryptid. I'd like to say something, but I'm not going to. The guy, like, there reminds me of something. Like, I don't know. Guys, if you want to say, like, I'm being picky or whatever, like, be my guest. I just think it's unprofessional and it's goofy to wear a Make America Great Again hat at a meeting where you're deciding to bomb a country. I don't know. Like, I get that decorum is, like, always excused for nonsense, but I don't know. So, let's see here. Okay, we have completed our very successful attack on 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordo, Natanz, and Estefan. All planes are now outside of Iran airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordar. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Trump always just writes it in such a just with weird capitalization, with, like, wrong spaces and stuff. Let's see here. Okay, that was from earlier today. Who else should I be looking at? Let's see. Let's see what APAC is saying. APAC's got to be on the moon. There's got to be just... I don't know. I can't say that on YouTube. Oh, let's see here. Oh, no. APAC hasn't posted about it yet. Okay, well, that's a surprise. Okay, where should I go, guys? I'm just trying to think, like, where would be a good day to day. I'll go back to Al Jazeera and see if
sort of saying to me,
Al Jazeera is covering it.
National law and its crimes against NPT. Also, they confirmed.
Okay, I don't know what this dude is saying. Unless there's another news station that would make sense for me to put on. Let me see here. Let's see if it's always hard for me to access through social. For whatever reason, it's just logging in, I find, is always just a massive pain. Like, it just never seems to work. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's take a look at what's going on the Don's True Social at the moment. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Newly released Trump Gold Bitcoins. Okay, that's an ad, but this is the professional. We'll be giving a State of the Nation. Open source intel. Fordo is gone. Thank you, President Trump. Oh, they're doing a gay op in Belarus now. That's good.
the President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump, future.
Wait, Trump went to a UFC match like an hour. Wait a minute. Okay, I don't even get it. Okay, so 4 hours ago, he posted a video of him at an Ultimate Fighting conversation. Like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, what the fuck is this? Was he tweeting? Was he like posting this on Truth Social while like they were in the room deciding on what sites were they going to attack? They're putting this like this is what they put up there. Then we have the fucking like the Trump gold Bitcoin. You have the big beautiful bill. Oh, UFC was yesterday. Okay. Well, okay. Okay. The UFC was yesterday. That's makes a bit more sense, but posting it like an hour before, well, like 2 hours before you start a major war doesn't really make sense to me. Let's see what Fox News is doing. I'm just not sure exactly like what the fallout is, so it's kind of hard for me to know what to say. I'm kind of hyped to see what like John Mearsheimer has to say from this.
But the other thing was, what is the intent going forward? And on the one hand, he's handed out the olive branch, if you will.
What is with these?
Saying, look,
can I get a physiognomy check? Like, what's with this guy's face? I don't know if his head's turned or it's like some weird proportions. And this guy, I don't know. He looks, I don't know.
Diplomacy. At the same time, he's raised a sword of Damocles and saying, and I think he's made that very clear. And he's also said, not only is a sword of Damocles here, we have a list of targets that we're looking at. In other words, planning, preparation, the forces are in place, everything to follow up on that, which I have to tell you, when you're negotiating on the national security side of the house, it is good to have a very credible threat in hand to say, let's try and work this out, or...
Okay, this is fucking boring. Let's see. I'm just trying to think. Is there a Twitter account, maybe, people would recommend? They desolate the world and call it peace. Peace through strength. I'm interested to... Let's see what Elon has to say. Elon hasn't said anything yet. Okay, Thomas Massey, the only person who's like has a decent take on this. Newsmax? Okay. Is Newsmax a stream or is that a Twitter account? I know it's a website, I just don't know which one. Okay,
and your thoughts as you hear the Prime Minister of Israel speak out so strongly and say that President Trump acted decisively?
Well, he's 100% correct. You know, I met with...
Okay, take a look. Let's see what else is on. I hate to agree with Mudahar, but how do you ask for peace after dropping bombs, Lamau? I can't really disagree with that. Let's see here. Wow. I guess that's the explosion. I'm kind of curious to see what the Trump people are gonna say about this. Are the pro-Trump people, are they gonna like cope and say that this was based, like this was a good idea, like death to Iran, or are they gonna turn on him, or like what is going to happen with regards to it? Let's see here. Khamenei hasn't posted anything yet. down. Okay, let me see if I can find that clip. Trump on Iraq war. Let me see if I could find... let's see. I'm just trying to find it because he asked about the... he was asked about this earlier in the day, and it was pretty funny. Yeah, Tucker. Let's see what Tucker's saying. Okay, what's Tucker saying? Okay, he hasn't posted anything yet. That's kind of weird. Maybe it's just too quick for him. He hasn't gotten to it yet. Now is the time for peace. Yeah. Okay, so I want you guys to okay, so let's just think about this for a minute. So people in the chat, what do you guys think happened behind the scenes? Did the military just say that they were going to do this? Did Netanyahu did something? I mean, what led up to this? Oh, and of course we have Trump talking with Hebrew subtitles. Yeah, no, we watched Netanyahu. He posted this like thing, just smirking about it. Okay. Okay, let's see here. So I don't know. I think that this is going to be the thing that defines his term now. I mean, once again, like Trump Trump inherited a bunch of crises. He inherited the Ukraine crisis. He inherited this one. He inherited some other ones. There was no real reason, though, for him to take ownership of these. Like, he could have walked away from Ukraine. He fucked that up. He could have walked away from this, come up with some sort of deal, and fucked that up. Also, okay, so here's something that confuses me. I thought Trump was supposed to be the ultimate deal maker. I thought, like, he wrote... Well, he had it ghostwritten for him, but I thought he wrote the book on how to make a deal. I thought he wrote the book, The Art of the Deal. And this was the result of him trying to make the deal is we have a big, like, war with Iran now. So what will probably happen now, or what may happen, is... what will probably happen, what may happen is Iran might start launching missiles against... there's a lot of stuff happening. Okay. Stop... sorry, I just lost my train of thought there for a second. Yeah, let's see here. Okay, 2 bombs on the entrances. Okay, the modification. Yeah, no, I was saying he's the ultimate deal maker. This was the result of, like, Trump's art of the deal. We have a war with Iran. Iran is probably going to retaliate. But here's the thing that's so insufferable about the whole thing is if Iran retaliates and they hit American bases, America will call Iran an aggressive state, and they'll say we have to invade Iran and do more stuff against Iran because Iran is attacking our troops. And once again, I just find that really annoying. Like, dude, you have military bases surrounding them. You're launching weapons against them. You're launching attacks on them. I mean, of course they're going to shoot back. I think Russia and China are definitely going to get involved. Now, they're not going to get directly involved, obviously. Like, there's 0% chance that that's going to happen, but they're probably going to be sending in air defense missiles. They're probably going to start providing intelligence, satellite uplink, stuff like this. It's bad. Let's see here. Who's Bungment? Okay. What was I looking at for again?
In many, many decades. Hopefully we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so.
Okay, keep in mind Iran has 90 million people. But yeah, no, this was Trump's art of the deal. I don't know. I mean, I guess something happened. Like, I don't know, is that like an accomplishment that something actually happened? Or is it bad? I don't know. Let's see here. Okay, Dark Side Flow. We're going to see at the moment where this stuff is. I think what's going to be interesting to look at is I think what's going to be interesting is how will Trump's base react to this? So a lot of Trump's base was very much against a war with Iran, and it'll be interesting to see if they fall in line or they turn on him and they just shit on him for this. Because we'll see, like, this is the time we'll see if all these people who have been complaining about foreign wars, who've been complaining about forever wars, for years, what their actual opinion is on this. So let's see what Real American Politics has to say. Let's see what his take is. If he thinks this was a good idea or not. Okay, let's not. Okay. I guess he's just not around at the moment. Okay, let's see Red Eagle. What he says. Okay, we just support him. Okay, so he's on board. He's saying that's good. Let's see, what else do we have? Iran is also just kind of a difficult territory. Like, a lot of the country's covered in mountains. I'm not really sure what's the deal is. Okay, so Red Eagle Politics is on board with this is based. Okay. Yeah, RAP I remember was having some stuff. I'm just curious to see, like, of the people I do actually watch, what they're gonna say that. So they dropped the, let's see, the 30,000 pound. Okay, let's see what else people are saying. Or wait, is there... Okay, let's take a look at the tag and see what there is. Let's see what Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying. Let's see here. This is not our fight. Okay, well, it's okay. So Marjorie Taylor Greene looks like she was against it. All right. Well, that's something. We're not going to war. Well, I mean, they just went to war. What do you mean they're not going to war? Ryuza Kikan? I mean, if blowing stuff up is not declaring war, I don't know what is. Okay, I think Christian Changer has a good take on this. The attack was mostly for show, and Iran won't escalate in a major way against the U.S. They will continue to shoot at Israel. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I think that is correct. I think that is probably what's going to happen. Maybe Iran will. I kind of feel like Iran doesn't want to poke the bear any more than it already has. Okay, so apparently it's not a war if they don't send in ground troops. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Let's see here. Just taking a look. Let's see here. No boots on. Okay. Do you think Iran is going to be like... Yeah, so like I said, the problem is if Iran does strike back, what's going to happen is America will just pound them and they'll cry. And I just hate the crying, and I hate the bitching, and I hate the... Like, and Trump did that there, too. He's like, they killed thousands of people while we were occupying their neighbor. Oh, no. They can't kill Americans. And I'm not, like, saying it's good that they killed Americans. I'm just saying, like, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Like, if you're going to, like, invade and occupy another country, then you have to be prepared to deal with the consequences. And part of the consequences is people who are next to that country may not like the fact that you're occupying that country. But it's acting like the Americans are, like, sacrosanct and you aren't allowed to shoot back at them. Obama sent pallets of cash. Trump sent pallets of bombs. Also, these people are just so fucking retarded. Like, okay, let's skip reading. Okay, it's not war just because you bomb somebody. Okay, I'm gonna go into rant mode now because I need to stop. Okay, so let's just think about this a bit. Let's think of the narrative that we've seen. Iran said. They said earlier, Iran has been saying death to America. And that, like, that's presented as some sort of justification. That we can start a major war, we can kill people, we can bomb a country we're not at war with. Because they've been saying death to America for decades. Is like the kind of thing that we're hearing. And then it goes, well, when we invaded Iraq, Iran maybe helped them shoot back at us, and then that's like the excuse. Like the attempts to come up with like things that Iran has actually done to America. Like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna ask Chet that. What has Iran actually done to America that's so bad? What is it that Iran has done to America and America's interests that is so bad it justifies going to war with them? I don't mean that as like a... I'm not trying to be facetious. Like, I mean, like... But Like, I get you don't like Iran. I get that they overthrew your buddy the Shah, but like what is it that Iran did that's so horrible that we have to start like a regional war over? Is that they held some of our citizens hostage in 1970. Like, it's time to move on. Like, people are still talking about that. It's time to move on, guys. Like, yeah, well, Israel blew up an embassy 4 months ago, so like, who cares? Iran needs to change course. The security they could potentially gain from nukes is not worth the existential risk they face. Well, apparently it is. Because, I mean, let's just take Iran at their word and say that they weren't developing nuclear weapons. You might as well just develop them at this point in time. And like, I'm not trying to shill for Iran. I'm just trying to say, I don't know. I'm sure people get what I'm trying to say. But like, everyone's cheering for it, and once again, we get into this whole, like, this is where the whole UCU thing comes from. I'm just gonna pick on this random dude. Oh, look, big beautiful bomb. We're just gonna make fun of it. It's like a movie to these people. It's like, oh, Trump's gonna blow up Iran. It's based. It's cool. It's like an action movie. It's gonna be like a war movie against Iran. It's not like real people are gonna die. It's not like this is gonna have real world consequences. And like, to be fair, I mean, a lot of people are bad about this. Americans are particularly bad about this. But if you go through this, it's just all these people going, yeah, America, fuck yeah, let's go police the world. Let's just blow shit up. It's just, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a pussy. Maybe I'm just overly sensitive. And, like, maybe me taking these kind of things seriously is just not the perspective. But I don't know, once again, maybe I'm just like from another era or something like that. It's just, I don't know, like, this is going to lead to who knows how many deaths. This is going to lead to blocking of the Strait of Hormuz. Like, I don't get, why couldn't they have just waited like one more week? Like, they were going to restart negotiations in 2 days. Why couldn't Israel wait 2 days? Why couldn't America wait 2 days? See what happened, and this is just an act of aggression. I mean, I don't think there's any other way to really put it. This is just an act of military aggression. And you can say what you want. You can say that, oh, well, America has the right to do whatever it wants, yada, yada, yada. Okay, but the problem is, and we saw this, is America will bitch and say it's unfair when this comes back to bite them. So it's like Israel, but the thing with, at least with the U.S., is they don't have a superpower they can run to. They don't have that, so they're not like Israel. So they're actually probably going to be held accountable. Let's see here. Let me see, who else are we? Dmitry. Let's see if my hero Dmitry Medvedev has said anything. No, he hasn't done anything. Trump's mission accomplished moment. They were given 60 days to abandon the nuclear program. They didn't do it. Oh, okay. So it's... okay, here's another thing. Why does Iran have to do anything that the U.S. tells them to do? Like, did God give the U.S. the right to just tell countries what they're supposed to do, and it's justifiable to just attack them if they don't immediately capitulate when the U.S. tells them to do something? Like, I don't know. Like, also, they were in the middle of negotiations. Why couldn't they have finished the negotiations? But no, we have to do this. Let's see here. Who else is doing it? Okay, Supreme Leader has issued a warning. Okay, it's not actually showing what the warning is. Let's see here. Oh yeah, okay, this was the clip.
They are at this point. Intelligence you have that Iran is building a nuclear weapon. Your intelligence community has said they have no evidence that they are at this point.
Well, then my intelligence community is wrong. Who in the intelligence community said that?
Your director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard.
She's wrong.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm just seeing. Just seeing if anybody's sent me anything on. Let's see here. Let's see what AIPAC has to say. Oh, AIPAC put out their statement. Let's read this. Let's read this cringe. President Trump has taken historic and decisive action against the Iranian nuclear program, which has been a long-time threat to the security of the United States and the peace of the world. Okay, I'm gonna ask. Here's another thing I want to ask. Does anybody here honestly believe that Iran would have used nuclear weapons against America? Maybe they could have given like nuclear weapons to one of their proxies. I just can't see that happening. I don't know. This is assuming that they had a nuclear program. This justified action was taken as Iran was on the verge of acquiring a nuclear weapon, and after the Iranian regime rejected President Trump's repeated diplomatic efforts to resolve this crisis. That is a lie. That is a absolute lie. The negotiation was still going. The IAEA recently determined Iran was materially violating its non-proliferation obligations. Let's see, reliable ally. For decades, Republicans and Democrats in Congress have led the charge to ensure Iran can never acquire a nuclear weapon capability. So, America must our troops. Fuck you, Israel. Fuck you, Israel. So bombing nuclear sites is peace. Epstein files did the job perfectly. Let's see here. I always love how all the comments under AIPAC is just like the most negative. It's just all like people shitting on them. Israel first. Okay, let's see here. America has even lost the Albanians. Or no, that's a parody account. Okay, let's see here. Oh. John McCain. Yep, that's probably true. I have to say the B-2 is a cool looking airplane. I won't take that away from it. It is a cool looking aircraft. The best part of assisting Israel is the gratitude they always show in return. Yep, that's very true. Yeah, academic agent is right. It was very sycophantic. Yeah, just saying that Israel told us to do it, and Israel's your boss. Okay, so VP, Secretary of Defense, and Director of National Intelligence advised getting involved. Yeah, my understanding is that Vance, Tulsi, and Witkoff were the ones who were against this war, this happening, but yeah. Okay. Oh, okay, no, that was from a couple days ago. I'm just trying to find if there's anything else that's been posted recently. Wow, what a scumbag. Trump is betraying his voter base, said people who didn't even vote for Trump in the most consequential election of our lifetime. What'd you call new wars? Starting a war then? Still waiting for that war with Iran. So this is going to be the cope we have now that it's not a war with Iran. It's not a war with Iran. It's just blowing stuff up. It's time for peace. Okay, the Broad Channel makes a very good point. Maybe BB threatened to turn off the BB threatened to blow up the pager. I mean, that's possible. It makes about as much sense as anything. Oh, Gavin Newsom? Let's see what Gavin has to say. Oh, let's see here. Report any suspicious, sussy activity. Okay, let me look at another window. Someone's messaging me. I know better than to open it with. Okay, someone sent me. I've seen that already. Okay. Alright, where are we? Okay, there's Gavin Newsom. Let's see what the comments are like. Yeah, I don't think that people are very happy about it. I'll say that much. Be prepared. There's a small chance that her and his leadership could unknowingly lead us into World War III. Well, I mean, it's weapons of mass production again. Do you think Trump was threatened into doing this or did it willingly? I'm not really sure. It's time for gamers to rise up. Stand with Trump. Whenever I see the old Iranian flag, I can't tell if they're like pro-attack on Iran or anti-attack on Iran. It's not a war, guys. It's not a war. It's not a war. Let's, okay, you know what? Let's do a little field trip. Okay. a particular armed conflict, a state of competition, conflict, or hostility between different groups of people, a state of armed conflict between different nations or states or different groups within a state. Yeah, I think it's a war. I don't really know what else it is. Yeah, because I saw some protesters with the old Iranian flag the other day, and I'm never really sure what they're going for. That's very true. Oh, it's so cringe. Okay, that's interesting. Wow. Oh, it is fun that they blow up all of these. The United States has spent $8 trillion fighting and policing in the Middle East. Thousands of our great soldiers have died or badly wounded. Millions of people have died on either side. Going to the Middle East is the worst decision ever made. Oh, let's see here. I mean, they're right. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, it's not good. The war is not meant to be one, it's meant to be continuous. Yeah, that's a good point. So was Pearl Harbor not a part of... I guess Japan declared war. Or did they declare... Did Japan declare war? I think they did. So if Iran hadn't have done that... So if Japan hadn't have formally declared war and bombed Pearl Harbor, it wouldn't have been war, I guess? I don't know. Okay, I'm just seeing what else is going on. Yeah, are you guys ready to go die for Israel? Let's see, what are they saying on...
where there is an American flag on the globe, the world is a better place, and it will be stronger and it will be safer at whatever cost that means. And I hope that everybody's seeing that today.
Okay, any retaliation... Okay, so apparently he's posting on Truth Social. Let's see here. Okay, it looks like we're getting the bitch made statement. Let's see. Any retaliation by the United States, by Iran against the United States of... Any retaliation by Iran against the United States of America will be met with force far greater than what was witnessed tonight. Thank you, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. Like, it's so lame. I'm just gonna say this once again. They can't shoot back at us. We can't shoot back at them. So, I don't know. It just seems like something a bitch would do. Let's see here. I'm just trying to find this. If anyone's talking about this. Okay, here we go. I can't believe I gave Trump money and believed in him. My son just asked if he would be drafted. Okay, let's see here. Just trying to see what some of the comments are. Okay, we have some like cultists. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. If you're a MAGA guy and you're not like pissed off about this, and you don't feel betrayed, I don't know. You're just drinking the Kool-Aid, I guess, at this point in time. Let's see here. Mearsheimer fan. Does Mearsheimer have a Twitter account? Oh, he does. Okay, let's see what Mearsheimer's saying. Oh, he doesn't post on it regularly. Okay, hopefully he'll go on the Duran or something. Yeah, that's a good point. That Trump is posting. Yeah, somebody's a good point. Trump is posting like official U.S. government policy on his Truth Social account, but not his actual account. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to be honest. I don't know if I actually said that Trump would not attack Iran. Did I say that? Maybe someone can remind me if I did. I don't think I ever said that. Maybe I did. I don't know. I thought that Trump was much less likely to escalate the war in Ukraine. I think Biden was. The Middle East, though, is kind of another thing. That's, I guess, more of what Trump's interested in. What did Zach says? I think you said that you would say it was out of character. Did that mean I wasn't expect? Yes. Okay, that's probably what I said. I don't think I ever said there was no chance he would do this. I just said I did not. I didn't think it was that likely. I thought Trump was just kind of going to go back and forth, and then eventually something was going to happen. So I admit maybe I'm just kind of wrong about a lot of things. Well, I mean, I know I'm wrong about a lot of things, but I don't know. We'll have to see what winds up happening. Look at this cringe. Wow. Look at this cringe. Is Serp doing okay? Yeah, Serp's doing fine. I just talked to him the other day. He's all right. I think he's pretty depressed about this whole thing, which, I mean, I can't really blame him for that, but otherwise I think he's doing okay. He's just busy. He's busy with his family. Oh, okay. Let's see what Serp. What is Serp? Is it Serpkerp on Twitter? I can never remember. Or is it Nazgul Gang? There we go. Okay, let's see what Serpkerp says. This is not what I voted for. Our greatest ally. World War III. God have mercy on us all. Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. A censored CD. That's interesting. Okay. So, yeah, for the record, I think I said I didn't think Trump would attack Iran. I I don't think I ever said that he wouldn't. I don't know. You can say that's a culp or whatever. I didn't take a hard position on it. I am kind of. I don't know if I'm surprised. I will take a semi L on this one. I don't think I ever definitively said it wouldn't happen. I said I was leaning towards it not thinking it would happen. So, I'll just say that. If you know who is the big loser tonight, though, is Ukraine. In the words of Ethan Ralph, suffer Zelensky, suffer. I mean, now that we have this war in the Middle East going on, I don't think there's going to be anything left over for Ukraine. Do you guys think so? I really don't. I don't think so. Well, I don't really have much else to say about this. We're just gonna have to wait a couple of days and see where things are at. If something else major happens, I'll let you know. But I don't really like doing these too often. When I don't really have much to go on. Let's just take another look and see what is on the news. We have agenda-free TV. Let's take a look at Fox.
Congratulations, President Trump. Your bold decision to target Iran's nuclear facilities with the awesome and righteous might of the United States will change history. In Operation Rising Lion, Israel has done truly amazing things. But in tonight's action against Iran's nuclear facilities, America has been truly unsurpassed. It has done what no other country on earth could do. History will record that President Trump acted to deny the world's most dangerous regime the world's most dangerous weapons. His leadership today has created a pivot of history that can help lead the Middle East and beyond to a future of prosperity.
Okay, I just like to ask this question. What is it that Israel has ever actually done for the U.S.? Like, what is it that Israel has done as their greatest ally that merits this slavish devotion?
President Trump and I often say, peace through strength. First comes strength, then comes peace. And tonight, President Trump and the United States acted with a lot of strength. President Trump, I thank you. The people of Israel.
Oh, it's just, I can't even look at him. I will say this, though. Fortunately, I'm Canadian, so if there's a draft for this war, I'm probably not going to take part in it. So, yeah. I don't know if any of you guys want to, I don't know, flee across the border. Maybe I'll see if I can sponsor some people if you want to try to dodge the draft.
We're also garnering reaction as well from many world leaders, including maybe on an emergency basis.
First time they've actually, but part of the reason there was this.
1 second. Okay, they're saying that some world leaders are giving responses. Let's see.
Okay, thank you very much.
The needs of this.
Absolutely unambiguous.
if this regime survives and if this regime hasn't seen that, are people. Meantime, here we are approaching a new hour. It's almost 8 o'clock here on the West Coast, almost 11 p.m. Opportunity to let you listen to the very brief statement President Trump White
is horrible. I can report to the world
I don't want to listen
that
to
the
it again.
strikes were a spectacular military.
State Threat Assessment Center is actively monitoring for any potential impacts in California. He says, while there are no specific or credible counter threats we are aware of at this time, we urge everyone to stay vigilant and to report anything they may see. So the message coming from California Governor Gavin Newsom, kind of a coast-to-coast reaction.
No, like, I'm joking. There's not gonna be a draft. I mean, that's obvious. That's a joke. Like, they're not gonna do a ground invasion, so it doesn't even make sense to have a draft. I'm just joking when I say that. Like, obviously, there's not actually going to be a draft.
In the meantime, though, we do want to continue with so many of our experts, analysts, my friend Benjamin. Not just for the United States, not just for kind of the Middle East. Is this a watershed moment? Would you characterize it as thus?
Okay, let's see what Al Jazeera is doing. I remember when I was in Europe, I was like...
Prior presidents have...
When I was in Europe, I remember I was trying to figure out like what news channel I could actually watch because I don't have cable where I live, so I haven't really watched the news for a long time. And I was like, okay, I don't want to watch CNN. I don't want to watch Fox. So I switched between Al Jazeera and the NHK.
In his speech, he said that he had assisted Israel, but he did not say in any way that that there was any sort of imminent threat to the United States. So this is going to be something that will be heavily criticized by the U.S. presidents, not only opposition Democrats, but as you point out, also members of his own party. In fact, Congressman Tom Massey, who is a Republican in the House of Representatives, has said since the strikes, responding to Donald Trump's Truth Social post about
like
the
Tom
announcement of the strikes on the
Shadsey.
3 nuclear sites, this is not constitutional. Now, there are others in the party that will support this, including Senator Lindsey Graham, but again...
Fuck Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham is a psychopath. I mean, Lindsey Graham is a fucking evil man. He's a deeply, deeply evil man. He's just such a fucking... He's just a psychopath who wants to watch people die. There's no principle to Lindsey Graham.
The majority of the American public is not in favor of the action the president has just taken.
Right, and beyond the constitutionality of this, there is also the fact that President Trump had said all along that he didn't want the U.S. to be involved in any more wars in this region. He's gone against all of the things that he promised
he did.
regarding this during his campaign.
And that is going to affect him politically. We have the midterm elections that will be coming up. They happen 2 years after the presidential election. And already the United States Congress is a very thin majority for Republicans. There's no question that the U.S. president could pay for this politically come the midterm elections. But there's someone else that can pay for this politically, and that is the Vice President, J.D. Vance.
Yeah, but like... They don't care. Like, you just have to keep that in mind. The only thing that matters is Israel. Is doing what Israel wants, is making the world safe for Israel. It's not making the world safe for democracy, it's making the world safe for Israel. And that's what we're doing at the moment. Okay, let's see here.
Was standing behind the U.S. president as he made this announcement and address to the American people from the entrance to the east room of the White House. He is the one that is likely to take the baton, if you will, from Donald Trump, who cannot run for another term, and run for president. And he is also someone who, like Donald Trump, advocated for less intervention, U.S. intervention around the world. So now he is attached to this decision. He's part of this decision, and he is, in addition to the U.S. president, who we should point out could potentially even be impeached if the Democrats take control of the House of Representatives and have investigatory power. But there's...
Yep, that could happen.
Is at this hour.
Okay, let's see here. Okay.
Well, actually, when it comes to the early reaction.
Okay, let's see what Agenda Free TV is saying. Oh, Steve left. Okay. Do you guys think, yeah, that's a good question. Zach makes a good point. Do you think there eventually will be some ground forces sent in? Like maybe not a lot, but some, like special forces in, or they'll do surgical strikes or something like that and try to do something? Because, I mean, invading Iran militarily, I don't think is really possible. America would need conscription, and I don't think even with conscription, America could get a big enough army to effectively invade Iran. But they might send some stuff in. You know what's funny? I actually got an air fryer because of this. Because he kept talking about his air fryer, and I looked into it, and I was just like, you know what? That sounds like a good idea, and I gotta say, the air fryer works really well. It's good for chicken tendies. Good for chicken tendies, good for hand-cut fries. Really good for hot dogs. Hot dogs in it are really good. What else can you make with an air fryer? I need to try to make fish and chips. I need to try that. Or just like battered fish. That's something I'm gonna have to try to make in my air fryer. Okay.
I'm sorry. I muted myself.
Mm-hmm.
I muted myself. Sorry, I'm back.
You got an air fryer because of Iran? No, it's because I occasionally watch Agenda Free TV, and he always leaves like every couple hours to go put food in the air fryer. And I looked it up, and I'm like, you know what, that looks pretty good actually. They aren't too expensive either. But yeah, I should try to make some more stuff in it. The only issue is it doesn't really deep cook stuff. So if you want to like air fry, I don't know, like a pizza pocket or something, you kind of need to microwave it first, or else it's going to just heat the outside. Sorry if I'm being kind of quiet. I'm just trying to figure out like what's even, if there's any updates on anything
These
that's
sites.
happening.
We have been talking for a number of days now about the Fordo plant. Were there preparations made to clear these sites, perhaps in advance?
Yes, I can cite the same statement that came from the.
Also, Russia had some nuclear scientists in Iran. I hope none of those got killed. That would also be bad.
Center for Safety, Nuclear Safety of the country. They said that there was some preparation, and also initially we've got this report from IRIB, the state TV, claiming.
You know what's really good in air fryer? Hash browns. If you get like those big packs of like hash browns at from a grocery store or whatever, and you throw those in, it makes them like nice and crispy, just like you get at a restaurant.
Material, no dangerous material, were there under the when these strikes took place. I'm sure that we have to keep waiting for further details, as still we don't is there to be blamed, because it gave a sort of green light for the initiation of these Israeli strikes. And of course, there had a role there when it comes to the resolution that was adopted by the Board of Governors of IAEA. They're saying that this resolution.
Okay, here's my other question. Maybe someone in the chat can answer this. How does blowing up these facilities stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons? let's just think about this for a minute. How does this like stop Iran from just not building another nuclear site? How does this stop like the cumulative experience and knowledge? I guess they killed some nuclear scientists, but I don't really get in the long term how this actually stops Iran for getting any kind of nuclear weapons. I kind of feel like they can just get them later. And I'm not saying, like, if there's no long-term plan involved, then it's just going to delay it a little while, if it even delays it at all. So according to Constantine, they only hit the entrance and the exit, so I don't think they even really hit the facility. So that's good. No, but like my understanding is Fodor was just too deeply buried to even use bunker busters on. They need nuclear weapons if they're going to be able to do that. Let's see here.
Which is already in an unprecedented level to a next level in which there is a
Yeah, I mean, Zach makes another good point. Let's see here. Okay, GSP makes a good point. The Iranians have had nuclear expertise for decades now. This is about regime change. This doesn't really have anything to do with nuclear weapons. Yeah, I would tend to agree.
Media
I would tend to agree.
That the U.S. has evacuated its embassy in Baghdad. I don't know that that's true. I just saw that in Iranian state media.
That's probably true. I am interested to see like what the Russians are going to say. The Russians have to be pretty mad about this. Let's see here.
Oh, hold on a second. Breaking news.
Okay.
Breaking news. CNN reports that 12 bunker busters were dropped.
12?
CNN is now reporting that 12 bunker busters were dropped on Fordo. Not 6, 12. By six planes.
12. That's a lot. Isn't there only 30 of those that were ever built? So they used like half of them. That's a lot. Let me see, what are these called again? I'm just trying to see what it is.
Again, CNN says
the Massive Ordnance Penetrator. Okay, let's see.
12
here.
bunker busters.
Let's see. Does it say how many of these were built? Number built at least 20. Okay, so if they use 12, then that's like most of them in experience. So how would they even replace them at this point? I mean, if those didn't do the job, they're literally out of missiles. They might have a couple more of these, but okay, let's see here.
Were dropped on Fordo.
Hey, Kurz, I see you have a Reinhardt avatar. I'm not sure, but if you commented on it, but I put up my like hour-long character profile of Reinhardt last week. Definitely check that out, guys. That that took a lot of work, but I'm very proud of that one. I think I did Reinhardt and Legend of the Galactic Heroes justice. There will be a Yang one at some point. It's just that I don't know. It's just going to take a lot of time. Yang's also kind of harder because I have to try to figure out some philosophy stuff. It's less of like kind of a linear story.
Even 6 bunker busters is quite a lot of firepower. So.
Put your money where your mouth is.
Way,
what does that mean?
There are 19 B2s total, I believe. So, if there really were 12 on Natanz, 2 on Natanz and 6 on Fordo, that would be 7 of the 19 B2s. Yeah, I saw this report. I'm not. There's a report I saw before. Miguel Cardona mentioned to me. Faye Tux mentioned it too. Channel 12 had. Channel 12 Israel had a report that an Israeli official estimates that Israel will continue to attack Iran. I don't know if Israel's going to attack Iran.
What the fuck is that? An Israeli official estimates that Israel will continue to attack Iran. Okay.
Faye Tux Network says that NBC News reports that. Where is it here? Remember, I told you that Iranian state media was claiming that the U.S. had evacuated its Baghdad embassy. I said I have no idea if they did. Faye Tux Network said that NBC News.
Okay, I think Zach Kilgore came up with what I think is the most brilliant explanation for how they're going to deal with this. They get the guys who blew up Nord Stream. They get the 5 guys and the lady on the Andromeda yacht, and they get them to blow up Fordor, and then that's the plan.
Said something about it? Well, I'm not seeing it here yet. Maybe they said it on TV and I didn't see it here. The New York Times says the B-2s that struck the nuclear sites flew nonstop for about 37 hours from Missouri, refueling several times in midair. That is from the New York Times.
I don't know. Is it really necessary to always do these 37-hour long flights from the U.S.? Can't they be based somewhere else so it doesn't take that long? It just seems like a lot of fuel.
The B-2s that struck the Iranian nuclear sites early Sunday flew non-stop for about 37 hours from their base in Missouri, refueling several times midair. A U.S. official said.
That's got to be really uncomfortable. It's a really long time. I mean, I guess it's a bomber, so there's a little bit more room in there than a fighter, but that is insane.
Now that's not, I mean, in the past, B-2s have, on occasion, done long missions like that. It's a very long mission.
Oh, Iranian missile concern, Diego Garcia's in strike range. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, that's a good point.
Roughly the same distance there and back. Reportedly, the strikes happened around 7 p.m. Eastern time. So, I'm just, it's like around, maybe they took off like midnight last night or 1 a.m. last night or something. I don't know. Hold on a second.
Okay, so if they took out off 37 hours ago, then This attack has been basically in play for hours, for like days now.
But again, the New York Times reporting that U.S. officials says the B-2s flew nonstop for about 37 hours. That's round trip from their base in Missouri, refueling several times in midair. 37 hours. I wonder if the crew took like shifts sleeping or something. Does the B-2 have a bathroom? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but I am seeing that it is it says equipped with a toilet. There are some videos saying that the B-2 has a toilet. Yes, on Wikipedia it says the B-2, one crew member can sleep in a camp bed, use a toilet, or prepare a hot meal while the other monitors the aircraft. Unlike most two-seat aircraft. The crew is only 2 people?
Yeah, the crew's 2 people for
Is
B-2.
that true? I didn't know.
Just looking at it, okay, so the B-2 speed is 560 miles per hour. Okay, so it's fairly slow.
I haven't seen the toilet. Maybe it's a small toilet, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Crazy.
Okay, let's see. Duke of Memerton says B-2s have beds, microwave, bathrooms, etc. They fly in shifts and can eat in flight. Still rough, but doable. Okay, well that's good. I feel good for the crew.
Let me say a couple of thank yous, by the way.
Is it even really necessary at this point in time to have bombers piloted? I mean, is it necessary for like the B-2's success, or like, does it even really need pilots? I mean, I guess if it's jammed or something like that, but you could probably make a version of these that just doesn't have pilots at all. Like a strategic bomber that doesn't have humans on board and is piloted remotely. I guess the issue there is jamming, but it's an interesting thought.
I don't know that they know anything is coming, but that they might think there might be, missile or rocket attacks or drone attacks or something. Thanks, Jason. Jin G. Winter Packin. K.A. Smith, Lorenzo. Easy Papa Zulu, Brad Larkin, John Jackson, thank you.
Okay, let's see here. TK says, what is the status of the Nothing Ever Happens crew monitoring the situation, blown the fuck out, vindication? I don't know. I mean, we're going to have to see how... we're going to have to see... if this goes anywhere, or if it's just going to be like the one attack and then its thing is just going to be over. That definitely sounds possible. Let me see. What is the crew of a B-52?
PM press conference, guys. Pentagon press conference, 8 a.m. Eastern.
It's kind of amazing how much the B-2s can actually just carry a lot of weight, surprisingly, for an aircraft that only takes 2 people. B-52 is 5, a crew 5, so about 2.5. Oh no, 5. Sorry, it's 5. It's 2 point times. Yeah. Let's see here.
Just checking for updates here. Oh, guys, we have some photos from the White House. Photos from the White House. Check it out. Situation room photos from the White House. How can I do this? Let's do it this way. These are photos from the Situation Room. I guess when these strikes were being carried out.
Oh, okay, let's see here. Anyways, if something else doesn't happen tomorrow, I'll either put out the video on like the top 10, like on the most successful political parties of all time, tomorrow or maybe Monday. But it's mostly done. I still kind of want to do it. As I said, I'm trying to produce kind of what I would consider fairly decent quality content on a regular basis that's not just news related. And that's been one I've been working on for a long time. And it should be interesting. It should be interesting to go through. Maybe just for me and like autistic political science stuff, but yeah. So, anyways, did anyone have any final things they wanted to ask me?
Now, you wonder, like, all this stuff about... So, was the 2 weeks... I have to imagine that the 2 weeks... I don't know... But
Okay, I'll just wait a minute if anybody has any questions. Could be related to this, could be related to something else. I admit I've been kind of addicted to Rogue Trader lately. Anyone here played Rogue Trader? I didn't think I'd like it that much, but I'm kind of obsessed with it. Really good game if you ever want to try it. It's really good, although a lot of aspects of it feel like it's from like a 1990s like experimental RPG with like some of the jankiest interfaces I've ever seen. Okay. But no, Rogue Trader's really fun. Really good game. I'm in chapter 4. Although chapter 3 is garbage. Chapter 3 I hated so much I had to turn it down to story mode. I had to turn it down to story mode, and I just ran through basically chapter 3 because it's so long and it's so excessive and so boring. You're just stuck like in a side area for the entire time. It's pretty cool though. I feel a lot of it is more kind of reasonable and realistic than a lot of 40k stuff, which I like. You can like not be a complete asshole in it, which I sort of like. Things are just scaled down a bit because you are on just the edge of the Imperium, but it's just a really good setting. The DLC is actually pretty good. The DLC isn't really well balanced. I feel like the reason they put in so many difficulty settings is because they didn't have to like balance fights properly. So it's kind of all over the place, difficulty wise. But the DLC is pretty cool because the DLC brings in like the Tyranids and the Imperial Death Cult Assassins. And the Imperial Death Cult Assassins are actually really based. I thought they were going to be just crazy, but they're actually pretty cool.
Yeah, nothing he said, nothing. He didn't say whether anything's right or wrong or you should support it or not. He's just pointing out the fact of the matter.
I'm not like the biggest Warhammer guy either. It's just a really I like that particular game. I like that particular game. I've gone from hating 40K to liking aspects of it. And dislike and hating a lot of aspects of it. But it's kind of more mixed now. It's really dumb. It's really dumb. Rogue Trader is a lot more kind of serious though. Anyways, let's give it another minute. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Oh, one of the viewers I think mentioned. Hold on a second here.
Okay, guys. Well, good night. Thank you that so many of you joined me. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope I wasn't too low energy. Like I said, political party video will be coming out at some point, and we'll go from there. So God bless everybody.